Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. And someone actually sent me an interesting email. They said, hey, Indy, what would you recommend as I'm just buying power tools right now? You know, I know what I need. I need a couple of tools. But what would you recommend from Metabo HPT? Like, hey, I'm just getting going. I just need a couple of tools. What would be their best tools to recommend from their current lineup right now? And of course, I'm not going to say, hey, just go buy the best tools you possibly can afford. There actually are some really amazing deals in Metabo HPT's line, and let me show you guys what I've got so far. And I think there is some absolutely awesome value in Metabo's line. That's definitely why I'm doing this video, is because they make some incredible tools for the price. First one is going to be their multi-tool. Now, I've heard some complaints about the multi-tool, about this pin breaking. I know they did have not like a recall, but they'll replace that pin for you. So I just want to get that out of the way first there. I was just made aware of that issue there. I've not had it myself. I use this thing quite a bit. But this new multi-tool is absolutely incredible for the price. It's usually right around $100 or cheaper. It does go on sale quite a bit. The vibration of this thing has been significantly improved over previous models that I've tried. And honestly, this is a fantastic multi-tool. You got speed adjustment on the bottom here, super easy blade changes on here. And I think it's overall just a fantastic multi-tool for the price. Other brands like Makita, you're going to definitely be paying quite a bit more for the similar, well, not even similar performance. You're paying quite a lot more for similar performance from this Metabo HPT multi-tool. Their top-end one, I think, is well over $200. And I believe this is Metabo's new top-end one. They only really make one, I believe. I haven't really seen the other models of this, but this thing is an absolutely incredible value. Same thing goes for Metabo's Jigsaw. They do make a model above this Jigsaw, but this thing is commonly well under $100 for the most part from pretty much any retailer. And I got this thing for like $70 brand new. This is one of their tools that it doesn't do anything absolutely incredible. And that might sound bad, but what I'm trying to say here is it doesn't do anything bad either. It's just an absolutely solid tool. It's one of those reviews that I did. I'm like, it doesn't do anything like class leading, but it has absolutely no flaws in it either. It's just a rock solid Jigsaw, and that's what I like about it. It's got plenty of power, it does the job, and it's fantastic. You know, it doesn't have any real downsides to it. It's super affordable, a great warranty. It has all the speed and power I could possibly ask for, and it just gets the job done. It's such a great, Jigsaw. I've got more expensive Makita Jigsaws. I just pull this thing out because it has nothing wrong with it. That's the kind of the cool thing about it. It's lightweight, it's maneuverable. I like the handle on it. The overall build quality, I think, is fantastic. I think it's got this cool, green with that dark gray look to it. It's super affordable, way more affordable than a lot of other brands for Jigsaws too. And yeah, I just can't say anything really bad about it, nor can I say that it's like, just the fastest, most powerful Jigsaw money can buy. That is kind of what Metabo HPT is well known for, just giving you a good, rock solid, quality tool at a great price. And that's what the Jigsaw can do absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to drills, I kind of have two that I would recommend. And definitely the first one I will say is one of the best drills that I have used by far. And I can pick out a best drill from like each brand. But I mean, this thing is so cheap. I mean, you can pick these things up on eBay for 30, 40 bucks. Amazon's not too much more for these things. This is the DS18DDX drill here. It's their subcompact line. Then they do have a new one that's not really subcompact, but it's kind of the same size-ish. But these things are super cheap. This thing has enough power to, pull it right out of your hand if you're drilling into something crazy. It happened to me once. But this thing just kind of does it all. It's a great little drill, tons of power. Yeah, it's got a plastic chuck, which isn't everyone's favorite, but for a great all-around drill, lightweight, small, cheap, great warranty, you can't beat this thing at all. It's an absolutely fantastic drill. Now, if you're to say, hey, Indy, I need the hammer drill function, that's really important to me, well, I'm definitely going to recommend the far less common DV18DC. This is the 18-volt version of their 36-volt top-end hammer drill. This thing does it all and more. Yeah, it's bulky, but it's got a heavy-duty gearbox, heavy-duty metal chuck. This thing just does it all, and it's kind of my go-to hammer drill now because it's a great deal for what it is. It's got, tons of power, great warranty, and I like the overall build of this thing. It feels really great in the hand. Overall, just a really great hammer drill. And that's what Metabo HPT is well known for. Is it's a rock solid tool. It's pretty affordable. and great warranty as well too. So that's kind of the two drills that I would recommend if you need a hammer drill. This is what I would go for. If you don't need a hammer drill, but you just want something compact, something all around, these things are an absolutely incredible value. And honestly, which for most brands, it's hard to say that. You get into some other brands like, say, Ryobi, you get the cheaper stuff, it just kind of turns into not very good quality tools. With Metabo HPT, it's still a nice high quality tool, but it's affordable now. So that's kind of the cool thing there. Let's go to the Absolute Beast. This is one of those tools, and this is going to be the only 36 volt tool I'm actually going to recommend. If you're wondering why would I only say one 36 volt tool? A lot of 36 volt tools that I've tested from Metabo HPT, they haven't really outperformed the 18 volt versions too well. I've done a few videos on those comparing 18 volt, 36 volt stuff. It's one of those things, I'm not going to say it's a gimmick, but unless you really want to pay extra for that little bit more of power, you know, that's all you're really getting from those 36 volt tools. So this is the one tool that I would definitely say, yeah, spend the extra, like, I don't know, was it 20 bucks or so for the 36 volt version? This is always kind of ranked, you know, between second and third place for the most powerful reciprocating saw money can possibly buy out of all the brands. This thing is wildly powerful. Other reviewers have reviewed this thing, and this thing comes out near the top every single time. It's an absolute gem in Metabo HPT's lineup. As you can see, I use this thing absolutely all the time because its nearest competition, in my opinion, is one of the new Makita XGT recip saws, which are over 3 times the cost of this thing. You can oftentimes get this thing in like a free battery deal kind of thing. These things on eBay are about $100 all day long too. And I usually pick one of these things up on eBay. But again, though, I've had this thing now for 2-3 years doing heavy demolition work, and this thing has zero signs of slowing down. So probably one of the best value reciprocating saws on the market, and the batteries for this thing are actually usually more expensive than the tool itself. So the amount of value this thing packs is absolutely incredible, and this is the only tool you're actually going to need a 36 volt battery or multi-volt battery for out of all the tools I've picked here, because it's just such an awesome value. And it's one of the few tools that's actually, I think, in my opinion, not really overpriced for being 36 volt. Because of course, you know, 36 volt tools, you can buy them, of course. You're gonna get your money's worth out of them. In my opinion, no. I'm not saying like avoid them, but if you want to stick to the value in Metabo HPT, the 18 volt line with, you know, throw on a couple multi-volt batteries here and there, you'll be smooth sailing, no problem there. And here is one tool I want to bring out to say that newer is definitely not better. Now, I think this is a fantastic tool. I got this thing for $100 on eBay, actually. You can find these things cheap. It's kind of classic Metabo. You can find them quite cheap on the used market here. This is the WR18DH. This is going to be their new just regular compact half-inch impact wrench. Now, the funny thing is when I did the review on this versus the old version, it honestly, I mean, it didn't get worse, but it's exactly the same specs. Like, zero change. They did not even change the light on these things. They made the head thicker, which not a huge fan of that. It's still IP56 rated on both of these. Still brushless. A couple different modes on this thing, but if you can find the older version, which I'm holding here, that's going to be the WR18DBDL2. Just get this, because it's basically the exact same thing, exact same lighting. Only real change is the head size and, of course, some of the modes. That's really it. Performance-wise, they are identical. Exact same breakaway torque, exact same tightening torque. I don't know why Metabo did that. I mean, at least throw us a little bit more power in there to justify the upgrade. Unfortunately, they did not. So you can find a good deal on the new version, go for it. But if you can find a better deal on the old version, definitely jump on one of those, because it's exactly the same as the new version. But if you need a half-inch impact wrench, yeah, these things are fantastic value, especially for the price. But add to that, the IP56 rating on these tools really adds a huge amount of value to those, because, oh, you left it outside? No big deal. It got covered in oil, no big deal, because they are IP56 rated, so they're definitely designed to withstand any water, dust, other intrusions like that, and they can keep on going. One of the big reasons I definitely like Metabo HPT is that IPv6 rating. All right, finally, this is the one tool I'm going to recommend to not buy the cheaper versions of. I'm definitely a fan of the triple hammer impacts. And when it comes to impact drivers, I never was a big fan of the triple hammer. It's one of those things where you really got to use it to understand it. You might think, okay, well, they added another hammer in there, so you're not getting as much, you know, impact force, because you're not getting that full turn of 2 hammers. You're basically getting almost a full half turn for those 2 hammers to impact on that anvil inside that impact. When you add a third one, you're only getting about a third of a turn on those hammers. And on paper, it doesn't sound as good, but the smoothness of these things is absolutely incredible. These things are great impacts. Of course, IP56 on these impacts as well too. And I'm not saying they're better than the competition, when it comes to overall power, smoothness, but the amount of value you get on these things is incredible because the triple hammer, I think, is a really smooth impact. They got plenty of power. They do make a 36 volt version of this. And again, I did a video on that as well too. Not worth it at all. I've got the one from Japan. That's the same version of this one. It's 36 volt. I tested against this one. I think it's like under 5% more power with the same batteries attached to both of them. So I would say definitely go for the 18 volt version, triple hammer. Tons of value there. IPv6 rating. These things are quite affordable, and they really do, give you the most bang for the buck. So I would say definitely don't go for the cheaper impacts from Metabo. They're not bad in any way, but spend a little bit extra, get the nice triple hammer. You'll definitely not regret, getting one of these nicer triple hammer impacts because they just pack so much punch to them. And then of course you get the IPv6 rating for a little bit more money. That could be really big too. This thing gets wet, it's no big deal at all. But guys, that's pretty much what I've got for you for Metabo HPT tools. If you want to just kind of get into the line, here's kind of the tools that I would recommend right off the bat. Yeah, you need a drill, you need an impact wrench, impact driver, multi-tool, recip saw, jigsaw. These are kind of going to be your, in my opinion, best bets for the most amount of value, most bang for your buck in the Metabo HPT line. And Metabo HPT is such an awesome value for what this tool brand is. I actually love them a lot because of how much value they pack in these things. Their warranty is excellent. Their customer service is so-so. I've had a few issues with them just not responding to me at all, which is kind of crazy there. But other than that, I think the brand overall is fantastic. It's, a great mid-range brand from Japan. Absolutely love it a lot. So guys, thanks for watching. Got any questions, leave them below. I'll try my best to answer them. And take care, guys. Of course, links are all in the description as well. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe out there.